Is content creation the new 9 to 5? I believe it is. Social media content creation has blown up over the years. People are making bank. People are quitting their jobs. People are living their best lives. And it seems very tempting to want to go down that route. I started my YouTube journey because I did want to express myself and I wanted to help people and just share my journey. However, the money was always at the back of my mind. The freedom was always at the back of my mind. The ultimate goal was always, I'm going to do this so that I can eventually quit my job and do something that I love, make money from my actual passions, and not have to clock in, right? Simple enough, but not so fast. Because as the times are changing, as social media is changing, as demands are changing, algorithms are changing, analytics, everything is changing. Hold on one moment, y'all. I just got to get this off my chest real quick. So my goal for the rest of this year is to be more consistent on my YouTube platform, right? Post at least one long form video a week. Why? I'm scrolling on Threads the other day and I see a post, shorty talking about making one post on YouTube is not going to cut it anymore. You need at least 2 long form videos to really hit the algorithm and boost your channel. Listen, the way I'm struggling to get one video out a week, I'm over here fighting for my life, and you mean to tell me now that's not enough? So y'all just gonna keep dangling the carrot, huh? Okay. Y'all gonna get this one video a week and it's gonna be enough. And it's almost, to me, feels like it's another trap, another setup of like the 9 to 5. And almost even worse when you think about it, because at least with a 9 to 5, you can kind of do your hours. You can, come home and your mind is off of it until you clock in the next day. I mean, unless you're an entrepreneur or whatever. But for the most part, you do your work and when you're home, you're home. But content is 24/7. Your day really never stops. And you really can't take no breaks. Like, think about it. Even like at your 9 to 5, you could take vacation time. You got the weekends off. You have holidays. There's none of that when it comes to content creation. You always on. And in fact, if you decide you want to take a break, a lot of times it'll hurt your numbers. It'll hurt your pockets. And with social media, it's so fast paced and there's so many people trying to be creators that, like, if you don't stay in the forefront, people will forget about you unless you really have taken the time to build a solid, loyal following. But a lot of people don't have that, and even the people that do still struggle when they take breaks. I've heard plenty of content creators talking about how they're literally scared to rest, because who is going to create the content that's going to allow them to make money to pay their bills if they need a mental health break? And then the work that it takes to build that back up after taking it, it really makes you think, like, is it really an escape? It almost feels like more of a prison when you think about it. Like, you can't even really enjoy your me time. Everything is content when you're a creator. If you go to a concert, if you're spending time with your family, that's content more than likely. You gotta think about, what can I post today? I have to make at least one post each day. And I think it could just get hard to turn your mind off from that. And the next thing you know, you living through your phone, you're living through your following. And that's unhealthy as well, because you're not having genuine human connection. And the amount of creators that I've been seeing talk about their mental health, I don't know what it is. And, well, I'm not going to say, well, I guess because, social media creation is a new thing, right? So I think now what we're starting to see are like the after effects of, like, the aftermath, basically, of how everything is falling into place, how it's really affecting people long term, their mental, being so self critical, and, always feeling like you have to look perfect, you have to appear perfect. And then, not to mention, having to deal with hate comments and people always having an opinion on what you do. I don't know. Sometimes it makes you wonder, like, is it really the escape we think it is? And then when you think about brand deals, I mean, most of the time that's how creator, unless you have your own product, that's basically how you're making your money. And the amount of work that just goes into that, having to really fund your own set, your own, yeah, they give you the products, but I mean, pretty much everything else is on your own. You got to come up with the concept. You have to set the scene. You have to, pay people to help you with photo shoots, things like that, if, depending on how far you go with it. But I don't know. I think it's come a long way from just pushing record on your camera and just talking. It's so much deeper now if you really want to make some money. So it just has me thinking, is that really the route I want to go? Yes, it is still the route I want to go. However, my perspective has changed when it comes to creation. And I think it's actually helped me for the positive because, one, I don't feel no way about still working my 9 to 5. And to be honest, the way that this economy looking, the way that even social media is looking, it's not stable. I mean, one day you could be on and you making your money, and the next people can forget about you, or you could be canceled just for speaking your mind, just for anything. I don't think I would ever want to lose my safety net. If I'm being honest, I I love getting that check every 2 weeks. I do. I need my money on time. I need it on time. And just not having to worry about if it's coming or not, or not having to worry about how much I'm going to bring in this month. And just the stress of that, I feel like that would be enough to drive me crazy and make me take my ass back to work. But the more I just think about it, it's like there's really nothing wrong with doing both. And I almost think that's the sweet spot. I don't know if content creation is the way out per se, but I do feel like it has its place. And as far as me and my journey, what I'm learning is that my 9 to 5 job will always be my bread and butter. And for a long time, I was struggling with that concept because it's like, it almost feels like if I keep my job, then that means I don't believe in myself that I can make it, or that I'm falling on a plan B. But my thing is, what's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? And I think it's better when you merge the two, because if you have your foundation, which is your 9 to 5 job, your full time with your benefits, and your steady check, it takes the pressure off of the creation part of it. And then it really allows you to stay tapped into what you actually enjoy doing versus, I got to post this because I have to eat. I got to post this because it's what's trending, even though I might not necessarily be interested in it. And then I think your content comes off a little less authentic as well when you're just doing it because you got some bills to pay. You just putting out anything at that point. I think it can lose your quality and the relatability of it. Like I said, it's a lot of times we follow creators because we relate to them because, they speak to us. But when it's your job, it's just a different ball game when it comes to creation. You can't always just do or record what you would like. It has to make sense in the grand scheme. And when I weigh all of these options, I think for me, it really does make sense to just do both. And it's not hard at all. For those of you who been following me from the beginning, y'all know I quit my job a while back to pursue content creation. And that was my ultimate goal, to not ever work and just rely on content. That was very short lived, but I learned a lot. And what I learned about myself is that I need structure, I need stability. And I think if you're really not careful, you can get wrapped up into just feeling like, I could do this. Such and such did it. They made a way. But really, really think about if it fits you. Also, I'm a person that don't even really like social media. Like, I like to get on YouTube and I like to make videos like this. But when it comes to like short form or posting my coffee, posting get ready with me's or day in the life, like that ain't really my thing. And it's plenty of times where I just really like to go ghost when it comes to social media. And I think you have to be honest about what type of personality you have, and do you really enjoy having to be chained to your phone, because that's ultimately what it is. You have to be active on there. You have to be strategic with your posts. You have to be loyal to your following as well. And that's something I'm still working on, even though, I still have my 9 to 5 or whatever. But, building that loyalty and that trust with your followers, you have to show up regardless of how you feel. And I think if you're a person to where you're not really big into social media, or you don't want to play into the trends and things like that, I don't know. I think you should question if it's something that really works long term. Like, you can't focus on the money and the type of lifestyle you're going to live. You have to focus on, is this something I would really enjoy? Because if you think about it, you're doing content and yeah, you're this creator and you're making money from this and you don't have to work a job. But if you're creating things that you don't feel connected to and you're just doing it because you got to pay bills, how is that any different from working a corporate job? It's not. It's no different. If you're not careful and you're not really passionate and really doing content centered around like what you feel is your calling, or what you feel like is something that you really love to do, like you could do this day in and day out, it's going to eventually feel like another job. And you will be trapped, because then I can't just stop doing social media. Or if you have a crisis or you have a death in the family, anything can happen, health issues. That's another thing, insurance. I've been hearing a lot of content creators talk about how much they spend on like medical bills. If something major happens, they got to come out of pocket for that. I mean, yeah, it's private insurance as well, but that's extremely expensive. Like, just the benefits that I receive from my job, I ain't ready to get those up. I'm not. So I don't know. It's just, I'm glad that I've allowed myself to really sit and ask these tough questions on if this is something that really fits my lifestyle. And that's my point of making this video, for people who are aspiring to be creators, is to really think about what it's going to take from you and what it entails. You really got to do it just because you love it. It really can't be about the money. Because again, if it's about the money, then it's no different from working another job. Like, I really love the fact that if there's a week where I just don't feel like posting, it doesn't make or break me either way. I love that I can post things that actually speak to me versus what everybody else is talking about. I love that my setup doesn't have to be top-notch, high quality, and that I don't need a cameraman, and that I don't have to have an editor. Like, those things make it easier, I think, to create. I think when you get a little too big and you need all the bells and whistles, that's when it kind of takes you away from why you started in the first place. And a lot of times it disconnects you from your core audience, because you're no longer really making the content that built your following. You're making what you feel is necessary to go to the next level and to ultimately fit in with the wave. So my point is, of course, continue to strive to build your platforms, but don't get lost in it and don't view it as your escape. Have fun, create what you love, and just continue to show up. without overthinking it. Your people will come to you. And God willing, you get to a point where you can quit your job. Let it be because you stayed true to who you were and not because you took the easy way and the quick come up. Because the quicker you rise, the quicker you're going to fall and have to start over again anyway. So just take your time, just build, continue to show up. And don't get discouraged if you still got to clock in and do your content on the side. There's nothing wrong with it.